Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ingrid and this is Ingrid Reads a Lot. Okay, lots of disclaimers in this video. First of all, if you can hear noise, it's because it's raining outside and it's gonna make noise. But I hope that I can do some editing magic and you can't hear anything at the end of this video when I edit. Secondly, let's get into the crux of this video that I think I'm going to label Dream Shelves episode 1. And my goal with these videos is to eventually, I want these shelves to, because these are the only shelves I own. And I'm okay with that. Like, I feel like I don't want to buy more shelves just to have books that I either didn't love or that I'm no longer interested in reading. So what I'm trying to do is to make it that these shelves are a reflection of my favorites. So I've already been doing this year, and that is the crux of this video, and I'm going to be unhauling some books that I didn't love. And maybe you can find a book that you do love, because I think that is the magic of BookTube, is that something that I might have not liked is the reason that other people like a book. So I think it's still important to talk about books that we didn't love and why we didn't love them, but that can still highlight something that other people would enjoy about the book. All right, I'm rambling, but let's get going with this video and let's unhaul some books I didn't love and don't want to keep on my shelves. First up, we have A Sorcerer Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. I didn't hate this book, but it's definitely not a book I'm ever going to reread. This tells the story of our main character and her mother, who is a sorceress, and mistreats our character throughout the entirety of this book. And this book is her kind of finding her own power in a historical setting where they're trying to defeat the sorceress who just so happens to be her mom. I thought this book was okay. It wasn't, the story didn't grab me as much as her other book, Nettle and Bone, which I own and plan on keeping. But this book just didn't amaze me and wow me, so I'm getting rid of it. And then next up we have Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. And this is a cheeky, breaking the fourth wall type of mystery novel. It just wasn't for me. I didn't love the main character, and I think that for you to enjoy those breaking the fourth wall type books, I think you have to like the main character. I felt that this person, like the main character in this book, was kind of taking himself too seriously. And overall, I just didn't enjoy the mystery enough to like these books. I think I gave it maybe a 2.5 stars. So I don't know. And I was thinking about my books, and a book that I read this month that made me solidify the choice that this is just not the type of cheeky mystery, like a cozy mystery novel that I like, is that the book that I read, and it's called Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies. That is my type of cozy mystery, where it's a mix of this plus the Feeling Donovan, because Feeling Donovan I think is very cheeky and funny. This was sort of cheeky and sarcastic, but it wasn't very funny. I don't know if that makes sense. But that book that I read, the one I just told you guys about, I really, really enjoyed it. And I'd rather have something like that on my shelves than this. And so, like I said, the point of these videos and this series that I'm dubbing Dream Shelves is to have my dream shelves and have books that I absolutely love on there, and to decrease my spending on books and buying books that I haven't read yet, but that I don't know if I'm going to enjoy or not. And I'm happy that with the book that I just told you guys about, I actually got that from the library. And I really enjoyed it. So it's a book that if I find in my used bookstore, I can just pick up because I know I love it, you know? Okie dokie, artichoke. Next up is a book that I didn't finish because I found it kind of very samey than every other small town romance. And it's called Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I love this cover, the old pixelated type cover. I picked this up because I think I saw someone on BookTube talking about it. And I thought, I don't know where I got it. It must have been, I have to keep this. See, this bookmark is, I almost gave that away too. And I got that in Italy. So this is a small town romance, and I enjoyed those quite a bit. I just don't think I was in the mood to finish this. I found it kind of boring, so I put it down, and I don't need to own it, so I'm getting rid of it. Okay, and then one that's kind of annoying to me because I had it in my head that I would absolutely love this series, and I just don't. And I've had this book in my TBR for so long, my physical TBR. And then when I read it, I was so disappointed, is Pines by Blake Crouch. And the reason I was disappointed is because a lot of people that I love watching rave about this book. I think I bought this back in the day because of someone's recommendation on BookTube. And when I finally read it this year, I'm like, what is everyone talking about? This guy is insufferable. Like, the main character in here is insufferable. He's a FBI agent that he's going to look for a missing agent in this small town. Yeah, he's from the Secret Service. He's going to look for the missing agent, and something weird as sci-fi is going on in this town, and he gets caught up in it, and he is so entitled when things don't go his way. And I just found the sci-fi twist of this not as interesting as everyone was making it out to be. I read this and I thought, okay, it wasn't the best. So then I read the second one. I got that one on Kindle Unlimited, I believe. Yeah, it's on Kindle Unlimited. And I didn't like the second book even more. I don't know. I just don't care. There's so many other sci-fi books that I love that this is just not it. This is kind of like a sci-fi mystery, but not as good as everyone makes it out to be. And I don't know if it's because I don't like the main character, so I'm not rooting for him, and I find him kind of insufferable. There's a couple of references to medical things in there that I didn't find very realistic, and that annoyed me too. So I'm nitpicking this book way too much. I don't like it. So I'm getting rid of it because I'm not going to finish the series. I read 2 out of the 3 books and I DNF'd it. I'm like, no, I don't want to read the third one. And that's that. And then one that I think is kind of controversial because a lot of people love this series is The Raven Boys. And I remember about this a long time ago. I read it a long time ago, and I remember not liking it enough that I wanted to keep going in the series. I think there's 4 books in the series. And I remember thinking to myself, it's like I'm keeping this book because it's such a popular book on BookTube that it's almost blasphemous to get rid of it. And I don't want to feel like that. I want to read books because I want to like books because I like them, not because I feel like everybody else, not because I have to, right? And everybody else loves it. And I just never kept going in the series. Don't remember much of what this book is about. And I don't think I'm ever going to read the rest of the series, and if I do, I can just get it at the library. I don't need to own a copy of this. So I want to, give it to my used bookstore and possibly someone that will enjoy it. And that's another thing that I'm finding as I get older and I'm honing my reading and my reading tastes, that I feel like YA for me is just not keeping my attention that much. I can still read some YA that I find very engaging and the magic systems are amazing. But I feel like lately, maybe the past 3 years, I've definitely steered more towards adult. And my reading reflects that, I think. I haven't really read a lot of YA, and a lot of the books that I have on my shelves that I'm no longer interested in reading are YA. But I feel like I should at least try them because I don't want to get rid of a ton of books that I haven't read because 1, I paid money for them, right? And then 2, I don't want to fall into the cycle of buying books to not read them to then get rid of them. So I'm trying to make a effort to get rid of books that I have read and didn't like, that as opposed to books that I am never going to read. That's not to say that there aren't books on my shelf still that I'm absolutely no interested in. But I think what I'm going to try to do with that is do try a chapter videos where I'm almost if I like the first chapter, I'm going to read those books. Anyway, I'm rambling, but I think the older I get, the more I'm trying to be conscientious of my spending and things like that. So that's also what this video is about. I'm trying to not buy books that I'm not going to read. And I think I've been doing a pretty good job of that this year. Most of the books that I've gotten new, I have already read. And I think I'm only getting, I'm not really buying a lot of books at bookstores. The books I am getting are books on book boxes, where I think I've mentioned this before. It's the Aardvark box, which I've had for about 4 months. And I feel like their selections are amazing. So there's never a book that I get there that I'm potentially I would enjoy this, which is what happened when I used to have Book of the Month. There would be some months that I would just get a book because I'm oh, that sounds kind of interesting. Aardvark box are books that I actually have already been in my radar and I want to read. So it makes it easier for me to get those books and actually read them. And then the other box that I currently subscribe to is the Fairly Adult Fantasy version. And I figured with those books, even if I get a book that I don't quite enjoy because they're special edition, I can just sell them on Pango and not lose any money, if that makes sense. That's what I have been kind of thinking of lately. The next book I'm going to unhaul is The Maidens by Alex McLadies. I'm going to unhaul because I don't think I've mentioned this to you guys before, but I work in a hospital, and there are a couple of my coworkers that love mysteries and thrillers and things, like people that aren't like avid readers, but that I have been like lending books to. And this one I read and I think I enjoyed it at the time. It's just a mystery thriller that I'm never going to read again, never will pick up again, and not something that I loved so much that I want to keep on my shelves. And then I think I'm getting rid of it because I think someone at my job will enjoy it. So this one I'm not going to bring to the used bookstore. I'm going to bring it to my work, and someone at work can just pick it up and see if they enjoy it. Uh, I read The Silent Patient by this author also, and I remember not liking that one. I think that one I already unhauled. This one I actually enjoyed. It's about a Greek tragedy professor and like a mystery going on with one of the students and the mom, I think. I read it at the time, I enjoyed it, but it's not something I'm ever going to reread again, and I am going to unhaul it. Okay, and this one I loved, but I have another edition of this, and I just don't think I need to keep both editions. Like, I do have multiple editions of certain books that I absolutely adored, like A Dowry of Blood. I have 2 editions of that, and then I have a couple editions of Throne of Glass and A Court of Mist and Fury. No, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Those are kind of like nostalgic for me. And what else? Oh, and then The Final Empire and Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have 2 editions of those. But those are books that I adored, right? Like, those are books that I will go back to, reread them. I have already reread some of them multiple times, so I don't feel bad owning multiple editions. This one, I think I like the other edition so much that I don't need to keep this other edition, and that is Bury Our Bones in a Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I absolutely adored this book, and I don't think I read it this month, so I haven't done a proper wrap-up with this. But if you are curious of some of my spoilery thoughts, we did a live discussion on Elle's channel that I will link down below. I absolutely had so much fun filming that video with Elle and Deshauna, and I encourage you guys to go watch it, so I'm going to link the video. But I loved this book. I just don't think I need 2 editions. The other edition I have, which is down there, I'm not going to show you, is the Fairy Loot edition, which is beautiful, and I don't think I need 2. I'm going to bring it to the used bookstore, so I think someone that, could potentially love this will get it for a discount price. And this is a signed edition. Oh, because I had pre-ordered this. I just didn't know that it was going to be in the Fairy Loot also, because I got the Fairy Loot after I pre-ordered this. Anyway, I hope someone will enjoy another signed edition of this book. And then we have The Husband by, who's this? Holly Gramazio. This is a sort of like speculative fiction type book, and it's about a woman that every time one of her boyfriends or husbands or whatever goes in her attic, she changes husbands. And it's kind of like a revolving door of men, and some of the men are, like, she keeps them from wanting to go up the stairs, and then some of them are terrible and she sends them up the attic. But like, this book was 200 pages of not saying much, like, I thought it was going to be this sort of analysis and thought and themes of something grander, where I felt like this was just like freaky just to be kind of freaky and fun. Yeah, I didn't enjoy this, and I thought it was kind of not my cup of tea, so I'm gonna unhaul this. And this kind of has kind of a special place in my heart, because I got this when I went to visit Elle and Shauna in Arizona. I got it in one of the used bookstores, but there's no sense in keeping a book I didn't like just because I got it with my friends, So I'm going to unhaul this. Hopefully someone that actually enjoys this will buy it. Okay, and then the next 2 books and the last 2 books in this video are books that one I DNF'd and one I did not read, but I have no intention of reading. The first one is the one I did DNF, which was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This is the beautiful Barnes & Noble edition of this, and I just couldn't get into it. I was bored. I'm like, what is this even about? It's just like literally about an encyclopedia of fairy creatures. And I tried twice to read this. So like, I started a little bit and I put it down, read something else, and then I came back to it, tried again, and I'm just bored. Like, I was just bored reading this, so I'm gonna unhaul it, because I tend to do that sometimes too, where if I start a book and then I DNF it, like I don't want to get rid of it because I'm like, maybe I'll read it again. And I've done that with multiple books. I've done that with Red Rising by Pierce Brown, which I still have to get to, but I've DNF'd that twice. And I've done that with, and then the other like good story was that I did that with City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. And when I actually read City of Brass, it's one of my top favorite books or series of all time. So it's like, that's why I'm afraid of getting rid of books that I could potentially still enjoy even though I DNF'd. But in keeping with my non-slump mindset, I think DNFing books is a sign that you're not freaking enjoying it. So I also don't want to keep a book on my shelves forever for a chance that I might read it someday and love it, you know? And then if I get to a point, I keep telling myself that. So if I say it to myself enough times, it'll be true. But if I do get to a point that I want to read this, I can get it at the library. I don't need to own a copy of it because I also want to use my library more. All right. And then the one book in this list that I have not read, but I don't think I'm going to, and I'm going to get rid of it, is Crown of Feathers by Nikki Powell Prado. And this is a Owl Crate. Is that the name of the subscription box when I used to have it? But this is YA. Again, I was keeping it because I think it's pretty. But like, that's not a good reason to keep a book. And like I mentioned before, YA is just not gripping me as it used to. And I've had this for years. I'm going to say over 5 years. I don't remember when this came out, but I'm pretty sure that's when I got this. Yeah, this came out in 2019. So I haven't read it in 5 years, 6 years almost. I will not read it anymore. And, hopefully someone that actually enjoys this. I actually don't know anything about this book, which is kind of sad. It sounds like, so this book is about two sisters that were ruling this kingdom of Phoenix Riders together, but then they kind of splinter and the sisters are fighting at each other's throats. One of them goes to find other Phoenix Riders, even though they are kind of all been slaughtered. And she's trying to find other riders to get together and defeat her evil sister. And, I just don't care enough to read this, and I think I'm going to get rid of it. And I don't remember, but I don't think this got like so many great reviews. I'll have to check that out before I fully commit to getting rid of this one, but I think it's a safe bet. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. This video is going down the drain already because now I'm like, should I get rid of it? Should I not? But you guys are seeing this indecision in real time because this is what happens. I am indecisive. Anyway, that's it for this video and episode 1 of this video, where I try to keep these shelves with books that I absolutely love. And the goal obviously is to read down my TBR and potentially get rid of some books that I don't love, but also finding books that I absolutely love that will stay on the shelves. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.